Got new ears! And my eyes are green! Like they were supposed to be! And all of this is in service of something special. Kind of. I've been working on something in the background. During my time of recovery from whatever the hell kind of crust I had last week. Which I'm almost certain was almost like 80% certain that it was probably a sinus infection. I feel like I need to adjust my microphone again. 1 second. Maybe that'll do it. That looks a bit better. Yeah! It's Saturday. It's the 22nd of March. Let's see. I didn't stream last week because I was ill. I did stream on Monday. I played, The Ancient Cave. Lufia 2. Childhood game. Absolutely fun time. I had a good time, yes. Thursday was World Frog Day. So that's cool. Was it a world holiday yesterday? Oh, you know, actually, no, I remember now. Yesterday was, well, technically today, I guess. Just going by, time zones. Today is, according to the calendar in my kitchen, the 21st was, Natalicio de Benito Juarez. So, I think the birthday of Benito Juarez. Happy birthday to him. Anyway, last we left off, some shit went down. Things were happening. There was a child that we saw at one point. Oh yeah, a dead body was discovered. Bing bong ding dong. Now we're going back in time. Again. I still can't believe the IS-7 incident was Gregory's last case. Or that it's been 18 long years since. A murder at a confectionery contest, and one of the participants, no less. Artie Frost. They pulled his body out of a treasure chest that was a part of Samson Tangaroa's chocolate tableau. I'm glad Fender's telling us all this so I don't have to remember it myself. He'd been hit in the head with a large rock salt lamp and subsequently bled to death. We found the lamp hidden inside the candy castle Delisha Scone had made for the contest. Then, before anyone had the chance to investigate Mr. Frost's own room, all of his icy creations had melted clean away. "18 years ago. December 24th, 9:05 p.m. Contest venue, Fountain Room. It's still almost Christmas.
All of Mr. Frost's work destroyed. Mr. Von Karma wasn't very happy. He told us to get out, and in no uncertain terms.
So what do we do now, Mr. E? I can't believe he just up and kicked us out! Von Karma's a total jerk! Oh, that's not the half of it.
Now, Eddie. It was always the job of the police and the prosecutor's office to investigate the scene.
Yeah, but he didn't have to talk to us like that. Who cares if we're cops or attorneys? We should all be working together to find the truth. Oh, hi Gaskia. I'm doing better. Had a bit of a funny day today. I didn't sleep very well. But I had dinner, so that should help me. Yeah. Like, it wasn't a bad day, it was just like... my head was feeling a bit funny. Yeah. I'm hoping things pick up soon.
You can't assume that everybody's aims are the same as your own. You may wish to expose the truth, but others might prefer to accept things at face value. Which way of thinking is right will depend on the person.
But what if somebody innocent ends up behind bars because no one managed to uncover the truth?
It can happen. We're all human, police and prosecutors included. Which is why defense attorneys exist. Our job is to help people in just such situations. To be friends to the friendless.
Friends to the friendless.
Now, we may not be able to investigate Mr. Frost's room as hoped, but that doesn't mean we give up.
Oh. You're right, Mr. E. I'm sorry. I should have thought more before I opened my big mouth.
You're young, Eddie. You'll learn soon enough.
I will, I promise! What? Mr. Edgeworth, Mr. Fender, you look like you could use a little pick-me-up. Come here, I'll pick you up!
I thought she was going to sing again.
I'm afraid this is all I have, but please, by all means.
Whoa! You're the best, Miss Bound!
Tangaroa's favorite, handmade by Bound. Rather misshapen and incredibly sweet. Chocolate.
Thank you. A little sugar boost might actually help, although these are a little too sweet for my liking.
Give 'em here!
And a little uniquely shaped.
I'm sorry if they're not to your taste.
No way, they're great! They're so sweet!
You're very kind. Imagine, me of all people, a mediocre confectioner. What? You mean you made these yourself? Yes. Samson loves chocolate, so I had to learn. Keeping him supplied with his favorite treats is just one of my many duties. Although he does spend most of the time coaching me on how to improve my technique. Mr. Tangaroa sure is a lucky guy. Getting to eat homemade sweets made by the one and only Judy Bound whenever he wants? That sounds amazing! I'm sorry, did you say something? Nope, nothing at all! Definitely not thinking aloud!
Dear sweet Eddie. You really do still have a lot to learn.
I love that. Just, dear sweet Eddie.
It seems you're quite committed to the work you do for Mr. Tangaroa, Miss Bound.
Of course. What right would I have to stay here otherwise? What do you mean?
Oh. Same brain cell. What do you mean by that?
I was abandoned as a baby, and Mr. Tangaroa took me in. Wah! That's right. One snowy Christmas Eve many years ago. One snowy almost Christmas.
God damn it. Sorry. I could not help myself.
He found me on the steps of this very mansion. He saved my life and became the father I never had. But he was the father that I did have. I can never repay him. So my work for him is the least I can do. And I'll be here for him for as long as he needs me.
That's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. I must be getting old.
What do you mean?
I'm welling up a little myself.
Ah, yes. And to think today is Christmas Eve. Almost Christmas. And I can't even give him his present in person. I'd do anything to save him. Anything! Please, if there's something I can do to help, just say it.
We're very grateful, Miss Bound. Perhaps you could help us by answering a question. Did you know the victim?
Not very well, I'm afraid. Oh, but if you wanted to see some of his work, I have a picture of the sculptures he made for the final. Aha!
My. They're stunning.
Aren't they? I think they're masterpieces. Who would have thought you could make such intricate statues out of flavored ice? Samson adored them too.
Oh hey! That's Taurus and Gemini, right?
Yes.
I didn't know you were keen on constellations in the zodiac, Eddie.
Oh, I love it. The stories those stars can tell.
Take Gemini, for example. See the lyre? That's what the harp's called. And the arrow and the... Hold up. The lyre doesn't have any strings. Huh. Did Mr. Frost forget to add them, maybe?
That doesn't sound like something he'd forget to do.
Wait, really? But I thought you just said you didn't know him very well.
Oh, well, I just, he didn't seem like the type.
It seems she's got something to hide too. You took this photograph yourself, Miss Bound?
Yes, I used this instant camera here. It develops the pictures as soon as you take them. It's so useful.
Whoa, I'd love to see it in action. What do you think Fender writes? Just instant camera, dash. Very useful.
And why don't I take your picture?
Yes! Come on, Mr. E, let's get a shot of the both of us. Well, alright then. It would be a shame to waste a good hair day.
Ready? Say cheese!
Cheese!
There, all done. And the picture's yours to keep, Mr. Fender.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much! That's such a cool camera!
Well, it's the only one we've got, so we use it for all our picture-taking needs. Excuse me. It's very convenient, but the lack of negatives is something of a shame.
So there aren't any negatives for us to reference. I assume Mr. Tangaroa used this same camera during the contest?
Yes, you assume correctly. Excuse me. He used it for some work-in-progress pictures of his seascape. And later to take some photos of the other contestants' works.
But didn't you take a picture of the body when you discovered it? And didn't you discover the body while the judging was still underway?
Yes. Samson wanted pictures of all the entrance completed rooms. But the film ran out just as he finished photographing Mr. Gusto's work. So he asked me to go put in a new cartridge. He seemed to think there should have been more shots left than there were.
In other words, the film ran out sooner than expected.
Yes. The number of shots he took didn't line up with the number of shots remaining.
I'm glad some people could keep count of their film rolls. I sure didn't when I had a old style camera. It wasn't an instant, it was the one you just had the negatives inside.
But he thought maybe he'd lost track somewhere along the way.
But had he really, though?
I went to our living area to change the film and was passing through the fountain room on my way back when I heard the sound of something break and collapse in Samson's room. Samson, are you in here? Ah! Mr. Frost's body was just lying there. I was in total shock. It was all too much. But I remember I called the police and then I went to tell everybody else. And the camera, it's been with me ever since.
I see. I'd be grateful if you could lend us the camera and this picture, Miss Bound.
Of course, here you go.
Thank you.
The new film cartridge has 20 exposures, but there are only 3 remaining. Fascinating. Photo of Frost sculptures, taken by Judy. Whoa! Baddie alert!
Detective Bad! Miss Scone! Are they done investigating?
They're done with me, that's for certain.
Oops. I need to do my vocal effect. My fancy vocal effect of putting my hand over my mouth.
They're done with me, that's for certain. Big Meanie told me to clear off. Honestly, that Mannikins will be the end of me. Oh, the cheek of him!
Guess he got tired of people cluttering up his crime scene. Did he run you off too, Detective Bad? Yeah. Von Karma seems to think I'm a nuisance. Can't do things his way with me around. Why would Mr. Von Karma go so far as to exclude his own lead detective? Still, got a pretty good look at the scene. As for Gusto, he's enjoying a nice little chat right now in Frost's room. God damn it. I really want... This is making me crave, like, a thing. I have a bunch of leftover... peppermint canes from Christmas. Hold on, I'm gonna grab some. This is just making me want peppermint cane. 'Cause you know it's almost Christmas.
It's Christmas somewhere. Wait a minute. No. It's Christmas in... It's almost Christmas. Yep. Get myself out of the wiggles. What about?
About the fact that Miss Bound said she saw him going in there during the contest.
One of my friends is playing Stardew Valley.
Mr. Gusto went into Mr. Frost's room.
That's right. And I have to say, he looked very much like he didn't want to be seen. I don't know what he could have been up to.
Well, he's candidate number 1 at the moment, as the guy who melted Frost's work.
Jerk.
Is that really why Mr. Gusto went into Mr. Frost's room? Got a photo of the room right here, if you need it. It's all yours.
Huh. Wait! What? Why would you just give it to us?
Do I gotta spell it out for you, kid?
I can't read.
I'm offering to help you guys. I want the truth about this case to come out.
Dang. I love a man that gives us help. Hell yes.
Detective!
You're really Detective Bad. Mr. Von Karma won't be happy about this. I say this with all due respect, Fender, but who gives a fuck what Von Karma wants?
Yeah, well, I'm not Von Karma's stooge. If he's gonna stonewall my investigation, then I'm not gonna play by the book either.
Hell yes! Fuck him up!
Can't let some pesky rules keep me from finding the truth. Now, can I, Mr. Edgeworth? Indeed. Thank you, Detective Bad.
Wow! I can't believe you won him over, Mr. E. All because you're not a jerk. Here, I'm trying to open up this candy cane. Well, I haven't the foggiest what you're all going on about, but here's to new friends, eh? Haven't you been paying attention?
It's definitely nice to have the good detective on our side, that's for sure.
Please stand by, Iska's having technical issues with a candy cane. Oh, that got me good. I should write that down somewhere. Make that an overlay someday. Just to please stand by. Having technical issues with snack of the day.
All right, let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that photograph. Here.
Oh my god, why is my room so warm? Oh my goodness. I have it set to 24 degrees, but it feels not like 24 degrees. I'll just put it down to 23. Celsius, I mean. God forbid if I had it at 20 Fahrenheit.
This is what Frost's room looks like right now.
Yikes! There's nothing left of his flavored ice sculptures but puddles! Don't worry, I'm a Brit, I understood. All good. You never know.
floor appears to be completely covered in a pale blue liquid.
Blue raspberry flavor.
I should compare this with the photo I just borrowed from Miss Bound. I assume that the unplugged power cord has something to do with all this. Gosh, I hope so. Yeah, once that was out of the socket, the display cases lost power and up the temperature went.
It looks like they were all connected to the same power strip. That's dangerous.
Do you have any idea when it was unplugged? Nope. Still working on that.
Well, actually, no. It's not dangerous by itself, but... You know what? It's unplugged. None of that liquid is gonna get in there. No one's gonna get electrocuted. It's fine. Those sculptures were beautiful. What a waste. You can say that again. I should have taken a few more bites out of them while I had the chance. I mean, I said nothing. I didn't say that. Who said that? It wasn't me. So they tasted good. Did they ever? I've never tried ices so scrumptious in all my life. I don't know if I would describe like shaved ice or like any kind of ice treat as scrumptious. Scrumptious feels more like cakes and biscuits to me. But that's just me. Really? Man, I wish I could have had a bite. Well, scrumptious except for the salty bit, of course. That was unbearable. Salty bit?
The salty bit.
It's in the other photo you got there. This bit, the harpy thing. Look, I may have chicken feet.
Gemini's lyre.
Wait, that's why it had no strings? Because you ate them? I didn't eat that much, you cheeky little devil. I told you. It was all horrible and salty.
Every time I see a phrase where the adjective is in quotes, it always makes me laugh for some reason. It's like, frost sculptures were scrumptious, allegedly. Except for the lie, which was salty. The salty taste is the taste of a liar, Giorno Giovanna. Oh, my brain is going everywhere. It's latching onto everything today. It's interesting that only one particular part of this one particular sculpture tasted different from the rest. And could somebody other than Miss Scone really be responsible for eating the rest of the strings? Did you notice anything else, Miss Scone?
Come to think of it, I did. There was a funny little mark on Chillywinks' work. What? It was 2 little letters. Let me see if I can draw it for you. There we go. Yes, it looked just like that. PH. Prosecuting attorney.
It's almost like a signature or something.
Wait.
Wait.
Wait a second. Who are you? I just knew Mr. Frost wouldn't have made that harp without the strings. He's not the type to skip an important detail like that.
I hope you don't mind me asking, Miss Bound. But are you certain you didn't know Mr. Frost particularly well?
What? No, I barely knew him, I swear. Why are you sweating?
Is that so? You certainly seem to have some strong opinions about his attitude toward his work.
No, the sculptures were so carefully made. I didn't think he'd miss something so important.
I'm sorry, but I don't believe you. You have a more personal connection to his work than that.
Well, what makes you say that?
I have an item of evidence that appears to have been one of Mr. Frost's possessions. And it shares a key feature with another piece of evidence.
Well, I don't know. I won't know what you're talking about if you don't share. So, what are these two pieces of evidences of yours?
Which two items point to Mr. Frost? This is the first.
The seal.
Take that!
And now the second.
The teapot.
Take that!
Take that and take that.
Miss Scone found two letters carved into Mr. Frost's ice sculptures. I think they were a signature of sorts. After all, it's not unusual for an artist to initial their work.
Oh, I always forget to sign mine. I guess not. That's right, dear. It's just like you said.
Oh, that was a bit...
Tiddlywinks' statues had the letters PH carved into them, plain as day.
PH? Shouldn't it be AF?
Oh yeah, right, Audie Frost. I'm an idiot. My brain went in an entirely different direction. Just saw the whole way and went the opposite direction. You... I'm glad you understand me.
You'd think so, but take a look at this. It's the seal we found at the crime scene. It seems reasonable to assume that it fell from Mr. Frost's pocket, and when pressed into the surface of an item, it would leave behind the letters PH. The same pottery mark we see imprinted on the bottom of the items in the tea set. The same pottery mark. We've already established that the tea set is the work of the sculptor Paul Halik. From that, we can assume that these same letters would mark any item out as a piece of his work. A fact of which you are well aware, correct, Miss Bound?
Well, yes, I know that he always marks his work with his initials like that. He's never revealed his true identity in public, so it's the only way to know his works are truly his.
You mean... Paul Halik was... That's right, Detective. Artie Frost had another identity. He was no ordinary confectioner, at least as far as Miss Bound was concerned. For you see, Mr. Frost was in fact...
a fan of sculptures! He was a famous sculptor.
Mr. Frost was in fact... none other than famed sculptor Paul Halik.
What? Mr. Frost and Paul Halik were the same person? Yeah.
It's not like the mark's hard to copy, though. Anyone who's seen it could fake being him with it. Not exactly conclusive proof. That Frost was who you say he was. It was proof enough for Miss Bound. What matters is that she believed it. His true identity will have to be investigated by the good people of the precinct. Alright. I'll have the boys look into it. Where the fuck did the body go?
I should have known I couldn't hide it from you, Mr. Edgeworth.
So you admit it. You were aware of who Mr. Frost really was.
I was. When I discovered his body, I saw the seal you found. Don't ask me how, but I just knew straight away that he was my dear Paul Halik. Imagine. His entries in a confectionery contest were his final legacy. A great man like that.
And, be honest, did you enter Mr. Frost's room at any point?
What? Why are you asking me that?
The photograph of Mr. Frost's room. I'd like to know when it was taken.
I must have gotten it mixed up with the one Samson took during the judging.
Objection!
I'm afraid I find that rather hard to believe. You said yourself that the camera ran out of film during the judging, and that you've had charge of the camera since before Mr. Tangaroa had the chance to visit Mr. Frost's room. That's how you were able to take that picture when you discovered Mr. Frost's body.
I suppose so.
This suggests that you took only 2 pictures with the new film. One of Mr. Frost's body, and one of his room. But I have a piece of evidence that says otherwise.
You do? Which piece of evidence contradicts the assumption that Mr. Bound only took 2 pictures?
Oh, the camera that we just received.
Take that!
The camera?
You gave the picture of the body to the police, and the picture of Mr. Frost's room to me.
Oh, and you gave us that picture you took of me and Mr. Edgeworth, too.
3 photographs in total. And yet, the film cartridge in this camera only has 3 exposures remaining. Out of a total of 20. You took more pictures, and I want to know what of.
Excuse me.
I'll need to see all the photos you took. Perhaps then we'll finally learn what you were really up to.
I'm so sorry. I confess. I've been lying to you.
Huh. These are all shots of Frost's room.
I'm so sorry.
Looks like she took pictures of his work from every possible angle. And when they were taken, the ice still hadn't melted yet. Wait, don't tell me. It was you!
It was. At least, I'm pretty sure it was.
You are? Why?
Well, you see, I'm a huge fan of Mr. Halik's work, as you know. I was petrified that might be ruined, what with the investigation that was going on and everything. So I thought I should at least capture the sculptures on film for posterity.
And? How did that make them melt?
I think perhaps I was so intent on getting the perfect photographs that I might have tripped over the power cord without noticing. Oh, Judy. Tripping over a power cord is not something you just don't notice. That is something you notice pretty quickly.
By mistake. Are you sure?
I didn't notice it at the time, but, well... How could I have been so careless as to cause the loss of his final masterpieces?
That seems a little convenient to me. Not sure I believe it. But I'm not in any position to refute it either.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cause any trouble.
Please, don't worry about it. The important thing is that you told us the truth.
What he said. No hard feelings, Miss Bound. Thank you.
Mr. Edgeworth. Picture's yours. Hope it helps.
More pictures. Yeah. Oh god, more old men. It's Mannikins.
Shit. You'll have to give me a second. I don't want to be doing a Tim Curry impression while I've still got a piece of, peppermint cane.
Are you infernal nuisances still here? You don't know when to give up. Linger for as long as you like. The answer is still the same. You are not part of this investigation.
Whether we're part of it or not, we'll uncover the truth nonetheless.
It seems you don't know when to shut up either. But I commend you on your stubbornness. Mr. Von Karma, I'm afraid I'm the one responsible for Mr. Frost's work melting. What? What is the meaning of this? I'm so sorry. It's you, Mr. Gusto. Huh? No concern of mine.
Shit. That was not the voice I gave him. That is...
I didn't do anything and Mr. Von Karma agrees.
Nothing at all, Mr. Gusto? You went into Mr. Frost's room, didn't you? Perhaps you could tell us why...
Sure I was. Silence. You are not to give the attorney even the tiniest shred of information. Judy Bound, you're coming with me. I have reason to believe that you are an accomplice of the accused, Samson Tangaroa. No, I will be interrogating you personally, so you'd better get your story in order. I understand.
Wait, please, I'm not done questioning her myself.
And you think I care because... Bad. Gusto. And you, Scone. I have questions for all of you. And I expect answers. Fine by me.
I'm just gonna stick with the chain-smoking old lady voice. Just It's something different.
Oh! You could at least ask nicely, Mannikins!
He took literally everyone with him. Indeed. Well, I suppose that means there's little point in us hanging around either. Perhaps it's time we got going anyway. It is rather late. I hope the snow has let up.
You're right. Home time.
Guess my stomach's in agreement too. Alright, let's go grab a burger. Before my own stomach starts grumbling too.
Sounds good to me. Let's eat up and rest up. We'll need to be fighting fit for tomorrow. Oh, look at him.
We will indeed. And our first port of call will be with Mr. Tangaroa.
To be continued. Interview with Mr. Tangaroa. Ooh. Let's do it. Oh. Hey! It's Christmas! Merry Christmas! Hold on, do I still have my... Nope.
I'll have to remake that toggle for the Santa hat that I gave myself last year.
Hey, it's Miss Bound! Oh, Mr. Fender. Mr. Edgeworth. I'm so sorry about what happened yesterday.
She looks rather tired. Has Mr. Von Karma finished interrogating you?
Yes, though he really only seemed interested in how I melted those sculptures.
Are you here to see Mr. Tangaroa too?
Yes, I'm terribly worried about him. Baddie alert!
Detective Bad? What are you doing back there? He doesn't suspect you too, does he? Oh, just happened to be here. I'll be heading back to the scene soon.
Not sure how anyone just happens to be at a detention center, but okay.
Good morning.
His hair! It's only been a day!
Mr. Tangaroa! What happened to you?
Oh no, Simpson! What did they do to you?
They didn't seem to want to let me sleep. I had no idea interrogations could be so involved. Sorry if I seem distracted. I think I'm a little tired. They're not letting you sleep.
That's not police work, that's torture! What's going on here, Detective Bad?
I'm not the one doing the interviewing. It's the guy they put on the case before me. I like Von Karma's methods about as much as you do, which is why I'm doing what I can to help. It was Detective Bad who got me out of there. I'd still be in that interrogation room right now, if it weren't for him. Detective Bad really is trying to look out for Mr. Tangaroa in his own way, it seems. Alright, Eddie. Let's share yesterday's findings with Mr. Tangaroa.
You got it, Mr. E. My notepad is at the ready.
Mr. Tangaroa, we found out quite a bit, if you'd like to hear it. Of course, Thank you.
Are you alright, Mr. Tangaroa? You seem kinda spaced out.
I'm fine. I think my blood sugar might be running a little low.
Samson...
Do we have anything that might give him a little energy boost?
We do.
Is that chocolate for me?
Chocolate? Chocolate? Oh, those are the chocolates
I wish I could just give them to you, Mr. Tangaroa, but the rules here don't exactly allow me to do so. Oh, that's a shame, but rules are rules, I suppose.
There must be some way we can hand them to him. Hint?
I hope Detective Bad is noting the meaningful looks in his direction. Let me take a look at them. If they seem legit, I might consider passing them on to the suspect. Thank you, Detective Bad.
My hero.
I'm touched. Thank you, Detective. Yeah, whatever, just sit tight. Here. You don't know how much this means to me. Yeah, keep it down, will ya? For both our sakes. Of course, Detective, I wouldn't wish to put your livelihood at risk. Not to sample these treats. Detective, I apologize for putting you in a tight spot. I didn't do it for you. It was my call.
Guess you're not such a bad guy after all. Alright. I've had about enough of this. Good night, everybody. I'm joking. Come back.
Oh, the sweetness. I feel like a man reborn. Were they your handiwork, Judy?
Yes, how were they?
Feel them melt, soft and smooth. Chocolate that'll comfort and soothe. Ear to ear, head to toe. Smile and savor the taste as it flows. Delicious. They're not exactly beautiful, but they're sweet and oh so flavorful. Thank you, Judy.
I'm so glad you like them.
And I'm glad you're back to your old self. My apologies, friends. The food they serve here is just so flavorless. Between that and the lack of sleep, I was about ready to collapse from sheer despair.
Wow, is the food here really all that bad?
Just usual. French fries, ham sandwich, stuff like that.
Ah. Highly processed foods.
Yes, and yet I couldn't taste a thing. Anyway, I'm heading back to the scene. Before you go, Detective, do you have any new information to share? Oh, yeah. You were right about the victim's identity. Frost worked as a sculptor in France, where he was known as Paul Halik. Artie Frost was Paul Halik? I never would have imagined.
Poor Mr. Halik. So the famous French sculptor wasn't a French man after all, huh?
This all would certainly explain why Mr. Halik was such a recluse and refused to show his face in public. He was busy working on his greatest masterpiece, apparently. Bunch of Zodiac statues. Guess he'll never finish them now.
He never finished his greatest masterpiece?
Nah. Seems he was making statues for each season. But he never got around to the winter constellations.
The winter constellations. You mean Taurus and Gemini.
So the two he made out of ice would have completed the set.
Yeah, now they're nothing but puddles. What a bummer. I'm so sorry. Oh, no, Miss Bound, I wasn't blaming you.
One last thing. Seems he had himself a bit of a spending habit when it came to his work. Every statue cost him millions to make.
How? How?
Which means he was always strapped for cash.
What?
We're checking to see if there's any chance someone called in a debt.
I guess not even famous artists are safe from money problems.
Yeah. It's true. I'm an artist with money problems, and I'm not even famous. Do you have any idea why he entered the confectionery contest? None. Guy didn't even tell his family.
He had a family? Oh, fuck.
I see. Alright, I really gotta get going. I'll go fetch another guard, but I can't be hanging around here any longer. Understood, Detective. We'll see you again shortly. He's a good man. He certainly is.
The good detective bad.
And an uncompromising one. Somebody who can be trusted to stand up for what he believes in.
And to scare the pants off of anybody new he meets.
Now, you were going to tell me about what you learned yesterday. Oh, of course. Allow me to give you a full report. Thank you for that. And allow me to apologize on Judy's behalf.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine, Mr. Tangaroa. As I told her yesterday, the important thing is that we learn the truth in the end. Now, would you mind if I ask you a question or two? By all means, I'll gladly share all that I can.
Tell us about the contestants.
What can you tell me about the contestants who took part in the final round of the contest? Let's see. There was Miss Scone. I loved her design concept. Unfortunately, her entry was in violation of the rules, and so I had to disqualify her. Mr. Gusto's creations were a perfect balance of flavor and design, at least up through the semi-final. But disappointingly, his entry for the final was subpar on both counts. And there was actually something a little unusual about his entry for the semi-final as well. Which was... it tasted identical to Mr. Frost's. They may have looked different, but I could have sworn I was eating the same thing.
What exactly did his work look like?
Oh, there should be a photograph back at my mansion.
I'll show it to you later, Mr. Edgeworth.
Much appreciated, Miss Bound. But Mr. Frost's entry for the finals. That was truly sublime. Huh. So you were able to finish judging it? Even though his body had been discovered in the meantime? Yes. I wasn't aware of what had happened until after I'd completed my assessment. Mr. Frost wasn't in his room when I visited, so I took the liberty of sampling a bit. Part of the lyre, I believe. I never tasted anything like it. It was like a dream. I was so moved that I burst into song. I'm sorry, but you're saying that the lyre tasted good? I'd like to hear more about that if you don't mind.
Yes, please, tell us about the lyre. But the truth, if you would.
You're quite sure it was the lyre you tasted when you sampled Mr. Frost's work? I'm certain of it. It was part of the Gemini sculpture, which was the only sculpture in that display case. Mr. Tangaroa, would you mind taking a look at this photograph for me? So, the part you tried was the lyre. The one shown here without any strings. Oh, there were strings originally. That was the part I ate. So the strings were missing because Tangaroa ate them all. And he enjoyed those. Huh. Miss Scone told us she ate a part of that lyre as well. But she said it was far too salty for her to finish. Then it's true. The truth is, I've suspected for a while that there might be something wrong with my sense of taste. Something wrong? Please tell us more once this playing goes over. How so exactly? There's a taste disorder characterized by an inability to detect salty flavors. And I suspect I've been suffering from it. I eat so many sweet foods on a daily basis that it took a while for me to even notice. I've heard that if you have enough daily intake of like sugars, it can actually affect how you taste things. But there's no denying it now. That would explain why the food here seems so bland to him.
What? But your taste buds are your livelihood!
Even if there were some long-term treatment option, I highly doubt a total cure for your condition exists. Nevertheless, you should put in a request to the police for a proper evaluation. Oh, that won't be necessary. I have a recipe for a cure back at my mansion.
A recipe!
You do? I do. You can take a look at it for yourself if you like. You can look for it if you'd like. Good luck finding it.
Samson! We can't show that recipe to just anybody.
Judy, Mr. Edgeworth is hardly just anybody. He's my attorney, and I have no secrets from him.
Yes, you're right, of course. If that is what you wish.
What on earth is this secret recipe for a miracle cure that they've been hiding?
Well, I suppose I should be getting back.
All right, we'll be right behind you. Judy?
Yes, Samson?
There's There's more to life than just me. Please, Judy. Think about the life you want to live. Because I won't always be around.
Don't say that. Without you, I don't have a life to live. So I'll be waiting, right there at that mansion until you come home. Now, if you'll excuse me. Wait, Miss Bound.
Judy.
Whoa. She seemed really upset. I thought I saw tears in her eyes. Why'd you even say all that to her?
Because I worry about her. She can't keep putting my needs ahead of her own.
What do you mean?
The Halik collection. The candy making. It's all because she thinks these things will make me happy. She never thinks about what she wants, what she likes. I just want her to be her own person and to choose her own destiny. The last thing I want is for her to miss out on all that life has to offer because of me.
I guess that makes sense.
He really does see her as his own child. What parent wouldn't want their child to walk their own path? And what parent wouldn't do everything they could to protect them? I know exactly how he feels in this moment.
I think I've asked of you everything I can for now, Mr. Tangaroa. We should be getting back to the scene of the crime.
Oh, you're leaving? I see. I suppose I'll be going back to the interrogation room for another session.
Yes, we'll have to do something about that.
You'll speak to the police for me?
That too, but I'll be putting something else in place as well. An ace up our sleeve for when the time comes.
I look forward to learning more. I'm counting on you, Mr. Edgeworth.
We'll be back to brief you, Mr. Tangaroa, every day. And Judy, too.
Thank you, Eddie. I'll look forward to it. Mr. Tangaroa, your interrogator will do everything in his power to extract a confession from you. I hate to see an innocent man suffer like this. But please, you have to do everything you can to hold out. If you can't, Mr. Von Karma will use that confession against you for as long as this case lasts. And it will make it that much harder for me to save you. I understand, and I'll try. I won't give up until you're out of there, Mr. Tangaroa. You have my word on that.
What's that guy doing on the edge of the fountain? Don't fall in!
Detective Bad, thank you again for what you did earlier.
Yeah, thanks a ton. Oh, look at him.
What are you talking about?
There's no need to be shy about it.
Never mind that now. I'm guessing you two are back here, looking to investigate some more?
We are indeed. We'll need something solid if we're going to save Mr. Tangaroa.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but apart from this room, The whole place is on lockdown.
What? But we need to see those other rooms!
This is Mr. Von Karma's doing, I presume? Who else? Haven't seen the autopsy report yet either. Guy's probably got a hand in that too.
Bet you he's at the typewriter updating it as we speak.
Don't expect to speak with anybody except us cops and Miss Bound.
Right.
Everybody else is gone, and I doubt Von Karma will be handing out phone numbers.
Is this all just a game to him? Why does he have to go so far?
So what's your plan of action, Detective? Same as before. Do what I can to help you uncover the truth. Like I promised. You'll have my gratitude.
Just you wait, Mr. Von Karma. We're gonna beat you and your bag of dirty tricks.
Detective, may we conduct a brief investigation of the area? Sure, but like I said, everywhere else is off bounds. You probably won't be seeing those rooms again. That's fine. As long as there's at least some way of continuing our investigation, we'll make do.
Alrighty. Let's see, what do we got over here? A saxophone. A trumpet.
It seems these instruments are used on Mr. Tangaroa and Miss Bound's TV show Bacon Bop. There's some of the few things in here that aren't made of candy.
Oh, but the drum set looks like ice cream sandwiches. Now I'm wishing I had an ice cream sandwich.
Is it just me, or does the detective seem a little disappointed?
I could tear into like 3 maxi buns. If I had any.
A Santa Claus statue. Is this made of candy too? That door leads to Tangaroa's room. So yeah, could be he made that thing too.
Sadly, I do not have any Christmas-themed ice cream sandwiches just locked away. I would have eaten them by now.
Speaking of Santa, that reminds me. I still need to find a present for Miles.
Ah!
He wanted an attorney's badge.
Ah! Ah!
I wonder if Mr. Tangaroa would make one out of candy for me if I asked.
Oh! Oh, that hurts!
That's the door to Gusto's room. I guess the candy reindeer is meant to show the way. Big antlers like that must be a bull.
Not necessarily.
I think not. Male reindeer shed their antlers in winter.
That's true.
Therefore, this must be a female. Thanks, Mr. Trivia. Attorneys. They don't teach you about reindeer in law school, Detective?
That wasn't a question, that was a statement, but it's still funny. He didn't go to reindeer school. For reindeer.
This is quite the trophy. Awarded to Tangaroa. First place International Confectioners Association Annual Spectacular. It's made of candy. I guess it wasn't meant to last forever. Makes sense. Prizes, fame, none of that lasts forever, right?
I doubt it's anything quite that deep. More trophies.
These trophies all belong to Tangaroa, but they're not all for confectionery contests. Some appear to be for charity work. A testament to both his character and his professional achievements. What's this one here? in recognition of Bacon Bop's long-standing achievement in making children's dreams come true.
Ah,
That's so sweet, it's got me wanting to watch it.
snowman!
Scone's room's through there. It's marked by a snowman. A candy snowman by the look of it.
Unless it's cream over a plastic shell.
Oh yeah, well I'll be... I thought he was gonna seeg into a... Well, I'll be the judge of that. He's really sizing it up. He isn't thinking of making that into his next lollipop, is he? Ah, they've dressed the tree here. It's a Christmas tree made of candy. These candy statues have everybody on edge. If fans get in here, that's our scene ruined. Yes, it would be pretty disastrous, I suppose.
What the hell is this guy doing over here?
Excuse me, may I ask what you're investigating?
Gregory, wrong way round. Sir! I am analyzing the fountain water to see what might be in it, sir.
And what'd you find?
Chocolate? And what looks like the kind of flavorings and colorings used in frozen desserts, sir. The composition of the chocolate seems to be the same as that of Mr. Tangaroa's work. And the flavorings and colorings match the profile of those used in Mr. Frost's ice sculptures. Mr. Frost's ice sculptures.
Those little rivers flow from all four artist rooms right here to this fountain. Guess that's how the stuff from the melted sculptures wound up in there.
And that's not all, sir. We also found blood.
Oh no! Oh no, blood! What? Why is there blood in the water? Think back to our investigation of the murder scene, Detective. Take another look at the scene in front of us, Detective. A very conspicuous pool of blood that should be here is clearly missing.
Ooh, that also explains the Choco.
Right. Don't remember anybody mentioning they removed the blood along with the body. The victim's blood was mysteriously absent, as was the part of the chocolate chest it had pulled on. I believe that the blood probably belonged to...
Mr. Frost.
Take that!
the victim, huh? I'll have the guy compare it with the blood on the murder weapon.
Well, this isn't a match at all. This blood sugar is way too high.
It's a match. The blood in the fountain is Frost's. But why would someone want to send the victim's blood downstream and into the fountain like this?
For fun. Oh, that's right, we're back to there. Back to there. Oh, look at those ice cream maracas, I think.
There's a lyre here and some maracas designed to look like ice cream cones. They're so well made that it's hard to tell what's candy and what's not just by looking. I'd reach out and touch them, but then I'd be disturbing the crime scene. Hands off. I already checked them out. They're real.
Check them out how exactly? Did you manhandle vital evidence, Detective?
I didn't touch them.
Not with my hands, at least? Oh no! Oh, don't take that out of context. Did he?
Never mind, I don't want to
Picture it! Oh no! Oh! Well...
Oh dear. Miss Bound, we're here to continue our investigation. The scandal.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm so sorry about earlier.
She's still looking kinda down in the dumps, Mr. E. She must have been greatly taken aback by what Mr. Tangaroa had to say.
I found the photograph of the semi-final entries for you. Here, it's all yours. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Ooh, pretty! Wow, Miss Scone sure knows how to make a cute cake. Yes, Samson loved her design for that one. And he loved the designs and flavors of Mr. Gusto and Mr. Frost's entries too. Only problem was... Oh, they're almost identical. As Samson mentioned earlier, they tasted exactly the same.
And they look almost exact too. Someone was copying somebody else's homework by the look of it.
However, their respective entries for the final tasted nothing alike, it seems.
Was there anything else of note that changed between the semi-final and the final?
Nothing major, but I guess there was one thing. Mr. Gusto's son was always here with him throughout the contest. He has a son, but he was nowhere to be seen during the final.
Why would his son come and hang out at a contest venue of all places? You're sure you're happy for us to keep hold of this?
Of course, I hope it helps with your investigation.
Oh, and I also have... excuse me.
I also have the book containing the recipe for the cure Samson mentioned.
We've seen this book before.
It's the Angel's Cookbook!
It was in the chocolate frame in Tangaroa's room.
That's right. He put it on display there so that everybody could see the grand prize.
What? The cure is in the ultimate cookbook?
So it's...
excuse me.
Goodness gracious. I'm getting the hiccups.
So it's not a book of dessert recipes, I take it?
Oh no, we told the contestants, of course. Oh, that explains why Miss Scone is here. 'Cause she's a pharmacist. I'm connecting the dots. But I guess nobody told you yet.
So the contestants all knew what the ultimate cookbook was this whole time.
Oh. That just solved that mystery.
I'd like to hear more about the cookbook, if you don't mind, Miss Bound.
Okay.
So if I understand correctly, the ultimate cookbook is actually a collection of recipes for different medicines.
Exactly. Or rather, totally new medications that haven't made it to market yet, to be precise. What do you mean? To the right buyer, a pharmaceutical company, for example, it would be worth a fortune.
But why make that the grand prize in a confectionery contest?
Mr. Tangaroa is the sole heir to the Tangaroa family fortune. Perhaps you've heard of the Tangaroa group? Are they a Zaibatsu as well? I need to know these things.
The Tangaroa group? Yeah, I think I've heard of them somewhere before. It's a major pharmaceutical corporation. Sells all kinds of pills and poisons.
Oh.
Oh yeah! That new Cold Killer Pro has been making some real waves since it went on sale. I always reach for a cold killer when I'm feeling under the weather. Cold Killer. Kills colds dead. Which is never as far as I've seen. Whoa! I'd like to hear more about the Tangaroa group, if you don't mind.
Okay. Oh. What was the point of changing the music for that?
So, did Mr. Tangaroa not want to take over for his parents and go into the family business?
No. He preferred the idea of making people's lives better through the power of confectionery. And his parents supported him in his quest to become the best in the world. Then, when they passed away, he inherited the cookbook.
But why would he make such a valuable heirloom a mere contest prize?
He's been hounded by so many people looking to make that book their own. He was tired of it. But it would have been an insult to his parents' memory simply to give it away. So he decided to find somebody he felt was worthy of it.
I'll bet the board of directors love that. Handing over the fruits of all their expensive research to somebody else.
They hated the idea, of course. Which is why Delisha entered the contest. The Tangaroa group wanted her to win the book back for them. Oh, she works for the Tangaroa group! Oh, the plot thickens.
So you knew she was a pharmacist all along?
Yes. And not only that, I told her how to appeal to Samson's tastes. I tried to help her win.
But why?
I wanted to protect Samson by protecting the Tangaroa group. If that cookbook fell into another company's hands, the board would never forgive him. So I wanted to find a way to keep it with the company, but in a way that Samson couldn't object to.
So that's how Miss Scone managed to make it so far in a contest she had no business taking part in. But Miss Scone wasn't the only one pretending, was she? Mr. Frost wasn't really a confectioner either. And he still made it all the way to the final just like she did. Not bad.
Yes, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Such a talented sculptor and excuse me. And a gifted crafter of desserts, too.
Gifted indeed, judging by the standard of his work in the final. But how did one man produce pieces of that size and quality in such a short period of time?
I'm not sure I have much more to tell you. But if there's anything else I can help you with, I'd be happy to, of course.
She's certainly very keen to ensure that she does all she can for Mr. Tangaroa. I could certainly use a cup of the tea you made us yesterday, if you wouldn't mind. I think that might help move the investigation along nicely.
Ooh, I'll have some too. Your tea is to die for, Miss Bound. Oh, that's what I forgot to do today. I wanted to go over to the shops and buy myself some more tea bags for myself. Well, how could I possibly refuse? I'll bring it right out. You know, I think that cheered her up a little. Oh, that was quick.
We've learned a little more about the contest participants, but there's still one question involving Mr. Gusto, for which we'll never get an answer.
Oh, oops.
For which we never got an answer. Nothing at all, Mr. Gusto? You went into Mr. Frost's room, didn't you? Perhaps you could tell us why?
Sure, I was. Not to give the attorney even the tiniest shred of information.
What was he doing in Mr. Frost's room? And that's not all. I also have questions about the work he submitted for the semi-finals. A confectioner who admits to lacking design sense, and a sculptor who has it in spades. Mr. Gusto could not have hoped to win such a high-level contest by himself. Which is why I'm beginning to wonder if there was some sort of connection between him and Mr. Frost.
Well, if that picture of the semi-final entries was anything to go by, I'd say so.
Detective, I need to ask Mr. Gusto a few more questions. His story still doesn't quite add up for me. Me neither. We need to figure out how to get in touch with him.
How do you know? Who is this? Oh. How do you know? Good luck with that, because I've no intention of allowing it.
Mr. Von Karma.
I'm already in the midst of my own investigation into Gusto. So there's no need for the likes of you to pester him with the same questions again. Tisk, tisk, tisk. I will, however, be happy to answer... I would be happy to answer any questions you might have.
He seems dead set on preventing me from talking to Mr. Gusto. In which case... Fine. Then allow me to take you up on your offer.
Very well. What is it?
I'd like you to tell me about the connection between Mr. Gusto and Mr. Frost.
Ooh. Gusto and Frost's connection. The connection between Gusto and Frost? It was simply a matter of coincidence.
I'm going into my voice for Frank Solid from the previous case.
They both happened to be taking part in the same contest.
And that's all?
2 statements. That's all I have to say to you. What? But that doesn't help us at all.
We'll have to confront him with evidence if we want to draw the truth out of him. And it's imperative that we do. He's clearly hiding something.
I'm almost certain this is the lowest number of statements in a rebuttal all of the games I've played. Did they? They happen to be taking part in the same contest. Wait, hold on. Good gravy. Hold on. Do we have something on... I thought we had something on, Gusto's... Oh, wait. Tasted the same. There we go.
Objection!
I almost caught myself thinking too hard there.
I wonder if you could look at the 2 confections in the foreground for me, Mr. Von Karma. They were made for the contest semi-finals. Both are quite exquisitely crafted, wouldn't you agree?
Ha! Get to the point!
As the nameplate suggests, these were Mr. Gusto and Mr. Frost's entries. Mr. Gusto told us that confectionery design was far from his strong suit. And yet, his work in the picture is just as good as Mr. Frost's. Exactly as good, in fact. We learned from another witness that their 2 entries also tasted exactly the same.
Objection!
What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that they were helping one another out. Let's take a closer look, shall we? While at first glance the two may appear to be superficially different...
Superficial? You could tell those would be like... From a distance, you could tell those were almost the exact same.
It soon becomes apparent that there are significant similarities in how they were put together.
Huh?
They're made of the same ingredients, taste the same, and share a similar design aesthetic. This picture is proof positive that the two were working together.
Huh.
If you figured that much out, I suppose there's little point in denying it. They were lovers.
Mr. Von Karma knew all along they were cooperating?
But I'll warn you, none of what you're about to hear will be to your advantage. Because everybody knew. It wasn't a secret. Let me confirm what you seem so desperate to prove. That Gusto and Frost were indeed working together. Gusto spelled out the details of his relationship to Frost during his questioning last night.
Oh, okay.
It seems they were helping one another right up until the day before the final.
So, you knew that the two were cooperating. Mr. Von Karma, why are you trying to bury the truth?
Objection!
Please, enough with the petty slander. I merely wanted to avoid you poking your nose around before I could provide proper context in court.
Ah, yes, that does sound like something you'd say. That does sound like something you'd say in order to not say, I wanted to win so bad that I'm willing to fuck up a crime scene and accuse the wrong person just so I can win.
It simply slipped my mind to explain that to you.
Oh, yes, yes.
It doesn't explain why he's being so slippery with the facts, though.
Like a slug. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I like slugs.
I need to figure out what it is he's hiding. I can't let things end like this.
We're indeed working together. Let's see. Let's press all of these, since we've only got 3 statements here.
So you did know there was a connection between the two. Why were you trying to hide it?
Tisk, tisk, tisk. I don't just hand out information like candy. And certainly not to the defense. Not like that lollipop nursing fool of a detective over there.
You do things your way and I'll do them mine.
Ha! And you wonder why I refuse to share information with a traitor like you.
Okay.
Hold it!
Last night after Mr. Frost's work melted, correct?
Yes, I interviewed Gusto personally.
Yeesh! A one-on-one with Mr. Von Karma? That must have been terrifying. I imagine Mr. Gusto probably meditated his way through the difficult parts.
He most certainly did not. Every time he closed his eyes, I brought him back with an almighty snap. No one dares to plead the fifth with me.
Is it 10:30?
Oh, it is. On the dot.
I gotta turn off my nightlight. Here we go.
For a brief moment, I thought he said he brought him back with an almighty slap. But honestly, I wouldn't put it past Von Karma to just slap people in the interrogation room. Did that even work on him?
And that is how I was able to perfectly learn every last detail of Gusto and Frost's relationship. All the sordid details.
Seems they were helping one another until the final.
But why were they cooperating?
Gusto's sense of design is subpar, and Frost was an amateur confectioner at best. Neither of them stood a chance of making it through the contest alone.
So what was their endgame? Why cooperate only until the day before the finals? If I had to guess, probably so either one of them would win, and either way, they'd probably share the cookbook.
Gusto claims to have ended the scheme. Allegedly, he wanted to win the final on his own merits. His one and only goal really was to be crowned the world's best confectioner. At least for the year 2002.
Was it 2002? I think so.
And his pride would not allow him to do so with the help of another.
Cheaters can only ever win hollow victories, I guess.
I was under the impression that their collaboration had only lasted through the semi-finals. But I'm starting to think it might have lasted up through the final itself. Mr. Von Karma, I'd like to ask you some more about how long they worked together for, if you don't mind.
Ha! If you must.
Gusto's sense of design is subpar, and Frost was an amateur at best. Amateur confectioner. The two cooperated until the day before the final, then decided to compete on their own merits.
Hold it!
Let's check this one.
You really believe that they were cooperating until the day before the finals, and then just simply stopped? That seems a little strange to me, wouldn't you agree?
I don't give a shit. I've told you the truth. Whether you find it strange or not is none of my concern.
He was concerned enough to try to hide it from me only a few minutes ago, though. Which means there must have been a reason for that. Based on Mr. Tangaro's assessment, it sounded as if Mr. Frost's entry for the final was the clear winner.
Which means he must have still been working with Mr. Gusto, right?
That's precisely what I was thinking. I must have some evidence that proves they were cooperating up through the finals.
Oh yeah. 3, 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody got to go and stay alive.
Objection!
There we go.
They weren't working together during the finals? I find that a little hard to believe. Miss Scone is on record as having described Mr. Frost's creations as scrumptious. And while he was certainly skilled, I doubt even he could have become a world-class confectioner overnight. It seems far more likely to me that he and Mr. Gusto were still cooperating during the finals.
Objection!
How many times must I explain this to you? Assertions require proof, and one person's entirely subjective statement is not proof of anything. Besides, even amateurs can occasionally make delicious food. Perhaps Frost was simply lucky.
Not semi-finals in a contest lucky?
My wife, for example, is an amateur whose cooking puts first-class chefs to shame.
Damn! He likes his wife. Or at least respects her.
How is that not an entirely subjective statement?
Furthermore, you are ignoring another crucial part of the pharmacist's testimony. Namely, that she also described some of Frost's work as having been unbearably salty. In other words, your evidence actually shows that Frost failed to produce the perfect confectionery.
That's not the point!
Gah!
Huh. Tisk, tisk, tisk! No more objections, I take it.
There must be some way I can prove that Gusto and Frost were still collaborating.
Oh, okay. Mr. E? There's something that's been on my mind.
Yes? What is it, Eddie?
Mr. Frost's entry for the finals. Wouldn't it have taken a while to make?
I would imagine so.
Making flavored water, freezing it all, and then carving 2 whole sculptures? Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Could he really have done all that and helped Mr. Gusto with his work? If it was me, I'd have barely gotten so far as the setting the flavored water up to freeze part. I just can't see how Mr. Frost could have pulled it off.
Perhaps there's some lawyerly instinct in you after all, Eddie.
Your pondering certainly points to another possibility. Eh? What?
Eddie's right. Mr. Frost would have needed to freeze his own large blocks of flavored ice to create his art. And there wouldn't have been time to do that during the contest itself. So what must Frost have done in order to finish his flavored ice entry within the time limit?
So then make the ice the day before the final, and make the ice the day of the final. Make it out of something else entirely.
Maybe it wasn't made out of flavored ice at all? Wait, oh no, shit. Whoops, that was wrong. But maybe Miss Gunn simply has such strong teeth that she was able to crunch through whatever it was. That's really funny. No, that doesn't make any sense. Okay. The day before, yes. I was literally thinking about it. You need like at least 24 hours to freeze ice.
Sorry. Just adjusting my butt. Ouch.
He must have made the flavored ice the day before. Then all he would have had to do was sculpt it.
What are you muttering about now?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just realized something, that's all. I realized that you're correct.
What? Mr. E?
I hope you know what you're doing.
Oh? Accepting defeat at last, are we?
No.
The only thing I'm accepting is that perhaps one of the things you said was true. For everything else, you're just a dirty liar. They were helping one another right up until the day before the final. Just as you said, the day before the final really did mark the end of their collaboration. Mr. Frost's entry was carved entirely from blocks of flavored ice. Ice which would have needed at least a day to freeze. And whose flavors would therefore have already been prepared by Mr. Gusto.
Yes, which lines up perfectly with what Gusto told me. That he helped Frost until the day before the final.
In that case, why didn't Mr. Frost reciprocate and help Mr. Gusto in return?
Objection!
I can hardly be expected to read the minds of the dead.
Objection!
Perhaps not, but I imagine Mr. Gusto could tell us. So why don't you let us speak with him? Or do you still insist your interrogation was as thorough as you claim?
How dare you call my methods into question?
That's not my intention. I just don't understand why you would obstruct a perfectly valid line of enquiry. Give me one good reason as to why you're keeping Mr. Gusto from me.
Ha! One good reason? Certainly. I don't want you. I don't want you near him. The how and why of Frost and Gusto's collaboration has absolutely no bearing on this case.
Objection!
How can you possibly say that with any certainty?
You want one good reason? I just don't like you.
If their relationship had broken down for some reason... that could very well have been the motive behind this murder. One of them just didn't want to lock eyes when they made love anymore.
Objection!
Caught it indeed. Then why did Gusto himself tell me all about it? Why did the man you seem so keen on accusing share the details of his collaboration with the prosecution? Well, please tell me you have some proof to back up your preposterous suspicions this time.
I almost went too far down my own throat for that one. Mr. Gusto only acted suspiciously one time that we know of. And I imagine Mr. Von Karma is aware of exactly what that suspicious action was. Which means... this is probably a trap.
Heh. Well, cat got your tongue. Meh.
But even if this is a trap, I can't back down now. Mr. Gusto snuck into Mr. Frost's room, and we still don't know why. That fact alone is reason enough to suspect him.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. If that's your only concern, then allow me to clear it up for you.
I knew it. It was a trap.
I was saving this for the trial, but consider it a taste of things to come. Plus, I'd hate for the proceedings to drag on because of your needless interjections. Here, take a look at this. Babies!
That's... oh my god! They were married! Oh shit, they were... oh my... oh my god!
Gusto and Frost. And their sons. Oh shit! Oh fuck! Gusto snuck into Frost's room in order to retrieve this photograph.
Oh my god. Oh my god. They were getting divorced! That's what happened! But why? Oh shit! It seems their sons attended the same elementary school. Oh my god.
Gusto was concerned that the fact of Mr. Frost and his acquaintance might place him under undue suspicion. A concern that you have just proved was entirely well-founded. Well, shit. Gusto's actions make perfect sense. And you've given me no reason to believe otherwise.
No! He's never going to let me talk to Mr. Gusto.
Now, if you're quite done obstructing my investigation, I have things to be getting on with.
That smug, self-righteous jerk! I'll give him something to be getting on with.
Oh, I nearly misread that.
What do we do, Mr. E? Mr. Tangaroa is finished if we can't figure something out.
Things to be getting on with. What exactly could those things be? He has a body, a murder weapon, and a suspect in custody. If the prosecution means to pursue Mr. Tangaroa, surely they have all they need. So why is Mr. Von Karma still investigating the scene of the crime? Something on your mind, Mystery? We're missing something. Something important. Mr. Von Karma has everything he needs to proceed with a prosecution of Mr. Tangaroa. And yet, he still doesn't seem entirely confident of his case. If he was, why refuse to share information with Detective Bad? Who else? Haven't seen the autopsy report yet either. Guy's probably got a hand in that too.
Ooh. We haven't had a logic piece in a while.
In addition, we still haven't solved the mystery of what happened to the evidence that went missing. Take another look at the scene in front of us, Detective. A very conspicuous pool of blood that should be here is clearly missing.
Yeah, my eyes feel funny.
You're right, don't remember anybody mentioning they'd removed the blood along with the body. Evidence that turned up not in Mr. Tangaroa's room, but in a most unusual place. It's a match. The blood in the fountain is Frost's.
Excuse me? My eyebrow got itchy.
So there were no traces of Mr. Frost's blood left in Mr. Tangaroa's room. Yet, we found some in the fountain instead. Why?
Oopsie. Frost blood detected in the thing. None of the blood found in Tangaroa's room.
Mr. Frost's blood went missing from the crime scene, but traces of it showed up in the fountain. Why go to the trouble of removing the blood from the scene after the body had been discovered? And why only the blood? Surely the body would have also been in the way.
Oh, I haven't had a drink of my drink.
Wait, could someone have moved the body aside to get to the blood?
And still no autopsy report, and someone moved the body. You know what else I did not think to point out is the little silhouette of Gregory here, which is a really good touch. Didn't even think about it before.
So the body might have been removed aside, or even removed from the scene of the crime entirely. After all, as far as we know, there's still no autopsy report. We've learned plenty about the murder weapon and the suspect, but very little about the body itself. Our assumption thus far has been that the body had been recovered by the forensics team. But what if that assumption is false? What if Mr. Von Karma wouldn't show Detective Bad the autopsy report out of something other than spite? What if we've been thinking about this the wrong way around all along? The question isn't why did Mr. Von Karma hold back information about the body? It's, did Mr. Von Karma even have any information about the body in the first place? How do things look from that angle? Perhaps the body hadn't been removed by the police in order to carry out an autopsy. Perhaps it had already been removed and hidden away by the culprit before their arrival.
Mr. E?
We've both heard the rumors about Mr. Von Karma's questionable methods. Fabricated witness statements, shady deals, forged evidence, even.
Sure, everybody's heard of that stuff. But what's that got to do with us right now?
I would never judge a person on the basis of rumors alone. Even Mr. Von Karma. I've tried my best not to let my preconceptions color our interactions with him. As challenging as it has been. Nonetheless, it appears he may indeed be willing to twist the truth to his own ends.
Twist the truth? You mean he's been playing dirty? Yes.
I fear he might have been, and still is. And I'm not about to let him get away with it.
I'm returning to the prosecutor's office. Don't breathe a word about anything to that infernal attorney.
Which infernal attorney are you speaking of?
Yes, sir!
Hold it!
He! That was good.
Yes, what is it now?
Excuse me.
I have a few questions, Mr. Von Karma, about a certain fact you've been keeping from us.
Really? You mean to call the methods of an officially sanctioned investigation into question yet again? I'm warning you, if you obstruct the police in their work any further, there will be consequences.
Objection!
It's not the police I have an issue with, Mr. Von Karma. It's you.
What?
Isn't it on the prosecution to work out who the real culprit of a crime is?
Ha! What foolishness is this? I have no intention of debating what the prosecution's role is or is not with the likes of you. But let me make one thing clear. My job is to identify suspects and ensure that every last one of them is convicted at all costs. At all costs. Enunciation is key. Believe me when I say I leave absolutely no room for doubt when I present my perfect, unassailable cases.
Objection!
And how far would you go for your perfect cases? Would you create facts out of whole cloth, perhaps?
Ha! And I thought you had outdone yourself already. But now you intend to accuse me of fabricating evidence?
I do. Because it is why you've done nothing but hinder Detective Bad from doing his job at every turn.
Yeah. He's on to me.
What are you talking about? You didn't shut him out of the investigation because you wanted him to keep an eye on us. You did it to stop him from finding out that you don't have the body! What?
He doesn't have the body?
Objection!
Ridiculous! You're clutching at straws! I will tolerate no more of your preposterous slander!
Then allow us to examine it. Prove me wrong, if you can.
Chisk!
I put a lot of sauce into that one.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. I'm afraid you'll have to try a little harder than that. I am under no obligation whatsoever to prove your baseless accusations one way or another.
Objection!
As you must have seen for yourself, a piece of bloodied chocolate is missing from the scene of the crime. Why did it disappear? And where did it go?
What does it matter? Some blood went missing from the chest where the body was found. So what?
So what indeed? That's precisely my question. If the body was still at the scene when the police got here, removing the blood would accomplish nothing. However, let us suppose for a moment that the body was not. If someone had wanted to erase any trace of what had happened in that room, then it all makes perfect sense.
Objection!
What is this petty obsession with a bloodstain? But since it's so important to you, why don't you tell me where you believe it went?
Of course. After all, evidence is everything, as you never tire of telling us. I believe this should back up my theory quite nicely. What evidence do I have?
Oh, where was it? Nope. Oh, shoot. Yes, there it is.
Take that!
Traces of the victim's blood were found in the fountain, along with traces of the chocolate from Mr. Tangaroa's room. I believe the missing piece of bloodstained chocolate was dumped into the stream that flows into the fountain, which strongly points towards one certain fact. Someone purposely disposed of the blood after the body had been removed from the chest.
Ah!
Mr. Von Karma, where did you find the body? You didn't find it, did you? Answer me.
You! Where did you get your hands on that kind of evidence? You have neither the authority nor the means to carry out that kind of analysis on the fountain water.
No, but I do.
Curse you bad! You've been a thorn in my side from the moment you were assigned! Well, no longer. As of now, you are officially off the case.
I was barely on it in the first place. Mr. Von Karma, you still haven't answered my question. Will you admit it? Will you confirm that no body was ever recovered?
Tisk, tisk, tisk. It's really quite the claim, you know. One that you'll never find any proof for, I'm afraid.
What must I do to get an answer out of him?
Now, if you don't mind, I've given you quite enough of my precious time already. I look forward to destroying you in court, Gregory Edgeworth. Your precious logic and theories won't save you then. Nothing will.
Mark my words, Mr. Von Karma, your methods will be your undoing. No matter how you try to hide the truth, I'll bring it all to light in the end. Forgive me, Detective. I didn't mean to put you in a difficult position. Don't sweat it. It was always gonna end this way. Honestly, nobody's ever sidelined me the way he did before. First time for everything, huh? You know, I think you might be right about the body being missing. I am. And I'll prove it in court. Well, if there's anything I can do to help, just say the word. Since, you know, I'm off the case now. That's very kind. And I'm sorry to keep asking favors of you, Detective Bat, but there is one more thing.
Just one more thing. One more thing, Detective.
Hey,
What are you guys whispering about? Come on, let me in on the secret.
all right, Eddie. The detective and I were just arranging a little insurance for the trial. I think we have enough to see Mr. Tangaroa acquitted. But I'd prefer to have an ace in the hole, just in case.
And? What is it?
You'll find out in the courtroom.
Wait, what? Wait, what? You're letting me join you?
Of course I am. You are my assistant after all.
I'll be more than that by next year. I'll be a fully fledged attorney, you know. We could take on Mr. Von Karma together. In court!
Indeed. Though I'm hoping we'll have freed Mr. Tangaroa by then. But if we're up against Mr. Von Karma, I guess we can't rule out the possibility that this might take some time.
Right. But we'll do everything we can in the meantime. I know you can beat Mr. Von Karma, Mr. E. I believe in you.
We can't allow Mr. Tangaroa to remain imprisoned for a crime he didn't commit. And we won't. I'll expose Mr. Von Karma's lies if it's the last thing I do.
The identity of the body. Interesting. Huh, but... I feel like we made some fine progress this time. Ah. But I think this is where we leave... What's the word I'm looking for? We close up for the night, I say. And give my windpipes a bit of a rest after all those old men. Thank you. And thank you for hanging out in chat. I appreciated it. Well, Monday. Let me think. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do on Monday. Because I don't know... I could play more Lufia 2. Because I really liked doing that last Monday. I could do a different game entirely. Or start on the Spider of Lanka, which is the Golden Idol DLC. Well, until then, hopefully, I don't, what's the word? Hopefully, I don't, catch something else. Some other weird illness. Though I would not be surprised if I did. I should go shopping on Monday. Too. I really should get more tea. Anyway. Thanks for stream. Wait a minute. No, I'm the one streaming. Hold on. I'm tired. Thanks. Thanks, chat. Said by chat. Alright. It's definitely time for me to rest. Alright. Good night, everyone. Good night. Oh, but last thing before I do, I just want to show y'all. Because I did not just update my ears. So you'll see so my ears are a lot bigger. My eyes are green. And also, look, there's a little freckle on my neck. Because I actually have a freckle on my neck. About right there. And I thought, that'd be cute to add on. Because, I've been updating my model. Because I'm working on something for Easter. A costume. Maybe. Well, you'll see when you see it. Alright. Let's just zoom myself back out. This'll do. Alright. Now goodbye. Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves. I can't sink any further than this.